from a physical standpoint to be an elite quarterback in the NFL. Now, all the other things, the biggest question I have is the question that everybody would have would be, how the hell are you not a captain? Like, that's a concern. This isn't Jay Cutler, is it? And the same thing, Josh Rosen was supposed to be good, but we knew when talking to some of the coaches on that staff that he certainly wasn't the answer. I'm not getting that take from the people that I know around that BYU program. However, it's always a concern when your starting quarterback's not a cap.
That's been something a lot of people have been asking about this, and some people say that he eventually had to earn it. I guess that the team had to vote.
Yeah, they eventually made him a captain.
They made him a captain.
Yeah,
eventually.
He was on the leadership council going into the season, but he wasn't a captain.
Right.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know why that is. Only the guys in that locker room and the coaches on that staff would know or have an explanation. But I get where Bart is coming from and where Rex Ryan is coming from, because quarterback position by nature is a leadership position. And if you got a guy that has the kind of talent that Zach Wilson has, you would think that the rest of the locker room and his college teammates would look up to him. But it didn't feel like that was the case early on, his first couple of years while he was at BYU. Now, it changed this past year, but that's also a product of the production that we saw from Zach Wilson on the field. I'm not going to say that that's not a valid concern, but to me, that's a small piece of the evaluation, because the fact is, Alan, you can be a captain in college and come in and be a terrible leader of men. I mean, I think you have to get the guy in the room. You have to have conversations with him and see whether or not he has those leadership qualities, see whether or not he's a good fit for your locker room. But the other part of this is, does the kid have the physical tools to be able to be a successful NFL quarterback? Because I played with some guys that you would say, you know what, this guy is the first one in the building, he's the last one out the door, he's got great work ethic, but he ain't got no damn talent. He can't play. And that's a problem, especially at the quarterback spot. So I guess that will be the thing that I'm most concerned with in the evaluation process. Does the talent translate to potential NFL success? And with Zach Wilson, I think that's an emphatic yes.
Now, Rich Cimini did explain eventually about this, because this has become the thing that people are asking. Well, wait, in the start of the season, BYU put out the press release of their captains. He wasn't one of them. How is that possible? Usually the quarterback, that's a given. So there were 8 captains. He wasn't one of them. He later became captain because one of the captains, the tight end, Matt Bushman, got injured. He was out for the rest of the season after week 1.
Default captain.
So then he stepped in and they added him as the captain. That's why the C is on his jersey at that point in the season. So are we nitpicking at this point? I mean, I know me as a Jets fan, I always feel like there's a catch. Something's going to go wrong. Like, there's got to be something wrong here. It can't be that good that everybody's so, high on this kid. What are the issues? What are the warts? I want to prepare for the worst. Like, that's just how it always is when you're a Jets fan. So I'm feeling like, is this it? That maybe he's not a great leader of men? And by the way, with young quarterbacks in the league, we've heard that. Carson Wentz, wasn't that the biggest thing about Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
All the talent in the world, but he didn't rally his teammates. He didn't own the huddle. And isn't that where things really fell apart for him? Not only with the fact that his line didn't protect him well, but there was a lot of whispers about him 2 seasons ago that he really wasn't a great leader, kind of kept to himself, and players didn't like that.
Yeah, it also didn't help that your backup stepped in and won playoff games, got your team to the Super Bowl,
that is true.
And won Super Bowl
Nick
MVP.
Foles, yeah.
They put a statue outside of Lincoln Financial for him. So that didn't help Carson Wentz's situation. But, yeah, there were the same questions about Wentz and whether or not he had those leadership qualities that you would want from a quarterback, especially a guy that you're going to pay top of the market prices to. Yeah. So that's one of the things that you have to make sure as an organization you're doing your due diligence on. And if you're a fan of the Jets, knowing that Zach Wilson is probably going to be your guy, the hope that you would have is that Joe Douglas and Rob Saleh would do their research and really find out how Zach Wilson's teammates felt about him, how that coaching staff felt about him, and then go from there. But they've also got to look at the tape and make sure that from an X's and O's standpoint, this kid can do everything that you want him to do. To me, that's the biggest piece.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a disqualifier, but you would like, your best player to be your best leader, right? And
it doesn't always work out like that, though, Bart. You know that.
Yeah, everybody doesn't lead the same way, right? Because, I've played with all types of leaders, right? I've played with vocal leaders. I played with leaders that lead by example. But the fact that they didn't think that it warranted, however he decided to lead, didn't warrant a C on his chest means a lot to me, because you have to be able to listen. Being a quarterback is almost like being a politician and also being a head coach, right? You're always selling something, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to get all the accolades. You're getting the biggest check. So you have to be able to inspire your teammates to go out and want to jump on a sword for you, right? Who's going to jump in front of the car for you and push you out the way? Like, that's what the game is all about, because it's about being able to sacrifice, offensive linemen playing hurt, things like that. Don't want to let him down. They have to feel like they owe you something, but you have to do that by supporting them so much, by always putting them above you and putting them before you and showing your selflessness. And I don't know if he didn't do that, is that the reason why they didn't want to buy into what he was selling? And I would have to do some research to see who he really is as a person, as a leader, because being a quarterback and being the face of the franchise is one thing, but being able to be a great leader and be able to inspire is another.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.